What if the story you thought had ended was only the beginning? What if the character you mourned, the one you swore was gone forever, suddenly returned, shaking the very foundations of Downton Abbey? In Season 3, a twist is revealed that no one saw coming, a resurrection so shocking. It challenges everything fans believed about the past, the future, and the very soul of this beloved drama. Downton Abbey has always been more than just a period drama. It is a story about family, love, loss, and survival, set against the backdrop of a changing world. Since it first appeared on our screens, viewers have been swept into the grandeur of the Crawley family estate, where elegance and tradition stand side by side with secrets and scandals. Fans fell in love not just with the world of aristocrats, but also with the lives of the servants below the stairs. Ordinary men and women whose stories carried just as much weight and heartbreak as those upstairs. From its earliest days, the show captured hearts because it reminded us that no matter the wealth, the title, or the privilege, people still face the same struggles: grief, betrayal, joy, and hope. But with every season came not just romance and drama, but also tragedy. The deaths of beloved characters tore at the audience's emotions. Some exits felt like cruel betrayals. Others seemed to mark the end of an era. These were moments when fans cried, argued, and even questioned whether they could keep watching. And yet, that is exactly why the series remained unforgettable. Each death added weight to the story, forcing characters to grow, to adapt, and to survive in the face of unthinkable loss. These choices made Downton Abbey not just entertainment, but an emotional journey that felt painfully real. But what if one of those losses wasn't what it seemed? What if the tears shed by millions of fans were not the final chapter, but only a pause before a shocking return? Season 3 introduces a twist that plays with the deepest emotions of its audience. For years, fans believed they understood the rules of the world of Downton Abbey, that death was final, that loss was permanent. Now, with one sudden revelation, the creators remind us that in this grand tale of secrets and power, nothing is ever truly over. This resurrection is not just a surprise, it is a challenge to the very legacy of the series. It reopens old wounds, revives long-buried hopes, and dares to ask the question, how far can a story bend before it breaks? The Crawleys have faced war, scandal, betrayal, and heartbreak, but nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared them or us for this. Death has always been a turning point in Downton Abbey. It was final, it was devastating, and it shaped the lives of those left behind. Fans remember the heartbreak of the early seasons, the car accident that shattered futures, the illnesses that claimed the brightest souls, the tragedies that came without warning. These moments were not just shocking, they became the emotional anchors of the show. They reminded us that life in Downton, no matter how elegant the dining halls or how sparkling the chandeliers, was still fragile. But as Season 3 unfolds, a strange question begins to take shape. Were all those goodbyes really as permanent as they seemed? Whispers ripple through the halls, subtle hints surface in dialogue, and shadows of the past seem to linger in the corners of the story. It's as though the dead are not truly gone, but waiting, just out of sight. The audience too begins to wonder. Clues appear almost like breadcrumbs. A forgotten letter hidden in a drawer. A photograph that doesn't quite add up. A servant overheard speaking of a secret that was meant to stay buried. None of it feels accidental. Each fragment deepens the suspicion that one story isn't finished. That one farewell was not the end. And then comes the silence. The silence before revelation. The stillness that tells the viewer something earth-shattering is about to happen. In a show built on subtlety and restraint, the possibility of a return, a resurrection, feels almost unthinkable. Yet the tension is undeniable. This is the big mystery of Season 3. Who has come back from the dead, and why now? Is it a cruel trick of fate, a deception orchestrated to protect someone's honor, or the writer's boldest gamble yet? The answer lies hidden in layers of grief, secrecy, and power. And once the truth is revealed, it will not only shake the Crawley family but also redefine the very heart of Downton Abbey. Because in this world of secrets and survival, death may not be the end. It may only be the beginning of something far more shocking. At first, it feels impossible. How could the dead walk again in a world so grounded in history and realism? And yet, Season 3 dares to shatter that certainty. The twist does not come in a loud announcement, but in a quiet, almost haunting moment. A familiar figure, long thought gone, reappears, not as a ghost, not as a dream, but as flesh and blood. The effect is jarring. The audience is caught between disbelief and hope. For years, the death of this character stood as one of the most painful turning points in the series. Fans wept, the Crawleys mourned, and the story moved forward under the shadow of that loss. To see them alive again feels like breaking a sacred rule of the show, and yet it is happening. The revelation unfolds with shocking clarity. The truth is revealed. The death that broke so many hearts was not what it seemed. Perhaps it was a cruel trick of circumstance, a desperate cover-up designed to protect reputations or shield secrets. Perhaps survival required silence, exile, or living under another name. Whatever the reason, the return of this character does more than defy death. It unravels the emotional fabric of Downton Abbey itself. For the Crawleys, the impact is devastating. Old wounds are ripped open. Every tear shed, every choice made in grief, suddenly feels fragile, even meaningless. Relationships built in the shadow of loss are tested. Loyalties fracture. Can forgiveness exist when betrayal is tied so closely to resurrection? Can love survive when trust has been broken by deception? And for the audience, the twist is both thrilling and unsettling. It is a gift, the chance to see a beloved character again, but also a betrayal of expectation. Downton Abbey was never a fantasy. It was a story rooted in realism. Yet here it is, offering a resurrection that feels both shocking and daring. A gamble that pushes the boundaries of the show's own rules. In this single moment, the past is rewritten. Every memory is altered, and the future of Downton Abbey is set on a path that no one, not even its most loyal fans, could have predicted. Because sometimes, the greatest twist is not death itself, but what happens when death is denied. When the news of the resurrection first spread, some fans asked the simplest question of all: why? Why would the writers risk undoing years of carefully built emotion? Why reopen a wound that had already scarred over? To answer that, we need to look beyond the story itself and step into the minds of its creators. Downton Abbey has always balanced two worlds: historical drama and pure emotional spectacle. Every death, every scandal, every romance was designed not only to reflect the times, but to grip audiences on a deeply personal level. But by the third season, the challenge for the writers was clear. How do you surprise an audience that has already seen it all? How do you deliver a shock that doesn't just feel like another tearful goodbye? The answer was resurrection. Bold, risky, and controversial. Bringing a character back allowed the show to reignite old storylines, challenge the audience's expectations, and keep the Crawley family narrative alive with fresh conflict. It wasn't just about shock value. It was about forcing characters and fans to confront their own relationship with memory and loss. What does grief mean if it can be undone? What happens to love when it is tested by impossible returns? Behind the camera, this twist also served a practical purpose. Popular characters draw viewers, and audiences never stop talking about the ones they lost. Bringing one back reignited passion, debate, and endless theories. The show became more than a drama. It became a conversation, a cultural moment where fans argued over whether the resurrection was genius or betrayal. And yet, it is that very division that gave the twist its power. Downton Abbey has always thrived on tension, between upstairs and downstairs, tradition and progress, love and duty. This resurrection twist became another version of that conflict, playing out not just in the story, but in living rooms across the world. In the end, the why is simple and complicated all at once. The writers wanted to shake the table, to remind us that nothing in Downton Abbey is safe, not even death itself. To prove that the most shocking twist is not always who dies, but who dares to return. When the resurrection twist was revealed, the Downton Abbey fandom erupted. For some, it was the miracle they had always wished for. Social media lit up with joy, disbelief, and pure excitement. I knew they couldn't be gone forever. This is the comeback of the century. Screenshots, clips, and quotes spread like wildfire. And suddenly Downton Abbey wasn't just a drama. It was trending across platforms, dominating conversations. Fans who had drifted away from the series came rushing back, eager to see how this impossible twist would unfold. But not everyone was celebrating. A wave of critics and longtime fans voiced their anger. They argued that the show had broken its own rules, that Downton Abbey was meant to reflect the harsh reality of life and loss, not bend into soap opera territory. For them, the resurrection felt like a betrayal. The pain of losing that character had been real, and undoing it seemed to cheapen the emotion they had carried for years. Comments poured in calling it. This divide became one of the most fascinating parts of the twist itself. Because beyond the joy and outrage, there was curiosity, endless speculation about how and why this could even be possible. Fans spun theories at lightning speed. Some believed the character's death had been faked to protect a secret too dangerous to reveal at the time. Others suspected a grand conspiracy tied to hidden family scandals. A few even argued that the twist wasn't literal at all, but symbolic, a clever way to explore grief, memory, and how the past never truly leaves us. Online forums filled with debates. Was the character really back? Or was this a double? An imposter meant to trick both the Crawleys and the audience? Could this resurrection be tied to a larger storyline involving betrayal, espionage, or forbidden love? Each theory added fuel to the fire, making the twist not just a plot point, but a puzzle. In a strange way, the controversy itself kept Downton Abbey alive in the cultural conversation. Fans argued late into the night, dissecting every frame, every line of dialogue, every suspicious glance. For the show's creators, this was victory. Whether loved or hated, the resurrection had done its job. It made the audience feel, debate, and above all, keep watching. Because in the end, Downton Abbey has always thrived on one truth. The story doesn't just live on screen, it lives in the hearts and voices of those who can't stop talking about it. The resurrection twist does more than shock. It changes the DNA of Downton Abbey. This is no small reveal to be tucked away into one storyline. It is the kind of revelation that ripples across every corner of the Crawley estate. Suddenly, every character must confront the ghosts of their choices. Every decision made in grief, every path taken in the shadow of death, is now under question. What if things could have been different? What if the lies that kept this secret hidden were more dangerous than the death itself? The Crawleys, once united by shared sorrow, now face division. Trust is shaken. Old rivalries resurface. Conversations that were once buried in silence now echo through the halls. It is as though the estate itself holds its breath, waiting to see whether this return will heal the family or destroy it from within. And in that silence, the audience feels the weight of the unknown pressing down. For fans, the impact is equally heavy. The resurrection isn't just a twist, it is a promise that the story is far from over. It teases new alliances, deeper betrayals, and secrets that may be even darker than the ones already revealed. Questions burn hotter than ever. How did this happen? Who was involved in keeping the truth hidden? And most importantly, what will this character's return mean for the fragile balance of power both upstairs and downstairs? This is where the brilliance of the twist lies. It does not give answers, it multiplies them. It forces us to imagine scenarios far beyond the screen. Will love be rekindled or poisoned by resentment? Will loyalty hold firm or collapse under the weight of deception? Each possibility carries both hope and danger. And so Downton Abbey 3 ends not with closure, but with an open wound, a wound that bleeds questions into the future. Fans know that the story cannot simply go back to what it was, because resurrection is not just about return, it is about consequence. And the consequences of this twist will be felt for seasons to come. Because in the grand world of Downton Abbey, nothing is ever safe, nothing is ever simple, and no story is ever truly over. And so, we are left standing at the edge of a mystery that has shaken Downton Abbey to its very core. A resurrection twist unlike anything the series has dared before. It challenges memory, it rewrites grief, and it dares to ask the most haunting question of all. If death can be undone, then what, if anything, remains untouchable in this world? For some fans, this is the greatest gift. The chance to see a beloved character breathe again, to watch their story unfold with new depth and meaning. For others, it is a betrayal, an unraveling of the careful realism that made Downton Abbey a masterpiece of period drama. But whether you celebrate or condemn it, one truth is impossible to deny. This twist has reignited the fire of conversation, forcing us all to see Downton Abbey in a new, unsettling light. What lies ahead? Will this return heal old wounds or open new ones that cannot be closed? Will the Crawleys find strength in the impossible? Or will the very foundations of their legacy crumble under the weight of this truth? Each path is filled with danger, with heartbreak, and with possibility. And that is why we cannot look away. The resurrection twist has done what every great story hopes to achieve. It has made us feel. It has made us argue, imagine, and wonder. It has made us fall in love with the world of Downton all over again, even as we struggle to understand it. That, perhaps, is the greatest magic of this series. Its power to surprise us, to haunt us, and to remind us that the past never truly dies. Now I want to hear from you. Do you see this resurrection as a bold masterpiece, or as a step too far? Was it genius storytelling or a twist that broke the heart of Downton Abbey? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your voice is as much a part of this conversation as the show itself. And if you want to stay with me as we uncover more secrets, twists, and hidden stories from the world of drama, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next chapter. Because in Downton Abbey, and in storytelling itself, no ending is ever final, and the greatest surprises are always still to come.